Hello, it's Brooke Joy Wazak, your Wellington Realtor, here to share some thoughts today that I've had about what sellers need to know when choosing a listing agent. So it happens all the time, to the point that honestly it's borders on sickening that sellers sign listing contracts with agents who then really don't appear to give it their all. And I think there's a really easy way for people to solve this if they just knew a few things that they should consider before signing a listing agreement with a realtor. And I am in Florida, so real estate laws can vary state to state. I'm speaking about things in Florida because that is where I'm licensed and where I know how it works. This may vary if you're in another state, but I think these are pretty fundamental for anyone who is going to list their property with a realtor. So 4 things that you need to say or do before you sign a listing agreement. Here they are. Number 1, you go on the interwebs and you search this realtor and you look at their Google reviews. You look at how many reviews they have, you look at the actual number of stars, and read some of the reviews. I believe, as a full-time residential realtor for the past 11 years, I have probably like 20 or 30 Google reviews. It's part of my practice to, when I close, to request, not every person does it, but I get enough. There's plenty to read from. And just as a side, they're all 5 stars. So if you are speaking with an agent and you come across their Google reviews and you see some 2s or 3s or don't see any at all, it's something that you might want to consider or investigate farther. Okay, number 2, is being a realtor their full-time job? Because let's be honest, if you are a person who has a full-time job and possibly a family and household, and you're also doing real estate, how much time do you really have to invest in the real estate? So that is a question. Now, are there realtors who do it part-time who are incredible? Of course. And are there full-time realtors who are terrible? Yes. So but it's something to consider, and even consider what it is that you're looking for in hiring a realtor. Does this support each other? Okay, item 3. What are you actually getting for their 2.5%, 3% commission? That is negotiable, as we all have learned over the past few years with all the litigation, but it was always negotiable. So if you were actually paying attention and knowing the rules of where you work, you would have known that. Not you, but realtors. So that being said, what are you getting? I'm very specifics. 2 open houses a month, accompanying all the showings, support with staging, getting the photographs done. What marketing are you specifically doing? Are you going to send out mailers? Are you going to hang door hangers for your open house? What are you actually doing? And please itemize it and look at it and negotiate that for yourself. If they say open houses don't really sell properties and we don't need to do any, and you think that that's important, say, well, I'm not going to sign with you unless you do X number of open houses per month. So that's item 3. What are you getting for the commission that you're paying to your listing agent? And 4, and now this might be Florida specific. So on the MLS here, we have an option for any broker advertise. That means that if I'm a newbie little realtor and I'm just trying to drum up some business, I want to promote other people's listings because I don't have any yet, So then I can, if it says any broker advertise, I'm allowed to take that listing information and advertise it and potentially find a buyer that I could then bring, and then I'll make my commission that way. So that should always be a yes. The only reason anyone would ever check the no box is if they are so concerned that they could potentially miss out on doing both sides. So in Florida, where it's assumed that we are all acting as transaction brokers unless otherwise stated. And as a transaction broker, I can represent both the seller and the buyer. So of course, if I have a listing, like, yes, it would be great to also have the buyer. And on my listing agreements, I actually do a reduced commission total when that happens because I want it to be a win-win for everyone. But a realtor who would want to select no for any broker advertise, I guess I would assume is banking on the potential that they could bring the buyer and make a higher commission. But it seems like a cut off your nose to spite your face kind of thing. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Why not have as much promotion of your listing as is humanly possible, and use the multiple humans that are willing to advertise it for free to maximize that? And so those are my 4. As a recap, we've got Google reviews. Is this their full-time job? What specifically detailed itemized list of what you as the seller are getting in terms of service from this realtor for their commission that you're going to pay them? And absolute must, any broker advertise? Yes. I hope that's helpful. And if you need a realtor in Palm Beach County, I would be glad to sit down and talk with you about what it is you need and if I can provide those services. My business is Brooke Joy Sells Homes. I am a realtor with Location Real Estate, and you can call me at 561-452-8530. Have a great day.